Hello, listeners. Welcome to the trifecta, the final Scare 2 series. This one's a podcast. And what kind of podcast? What's the name? What are we doing? Well, welcome to Scared to Read. This is the backdrop for the whole styling of this video format. But Scared to Read follows a way different format than the other Scared to, like Scared to Watch and Scared to Play. Scared to Read is where we go over horror news, read creepypastas, read horror story, like not just like creepypastas, but like actual whole-on books if we want to. Go over news, upcoming horror movies, have some guests on to talk about scary experiences. These things are things I always want to do. I'm a horror fanatic. I pride myself on loving to be scared. Now, the rules. Well, I'll be having you listeners here for 30 minutes. Yes, sometimes longer. This episode might run a little bit longer than the rest. But what's today's theming? Well, creepypastas that you wouldn't think to read. The first one I have up here is pretty fucking interesting. Sorry for the language, but it's pretty interesting. The first one we have up here is My Closet is Trying to Kill Me. What is that about? I thought. And I'm like, that's going to be a perfect segue into our first Scared to Read. Now, I do plan on having other things designed. There's a website coming up live about all the information that I talk about and all information about new horror movies, games, shows, and etc. And I want to have a collection of horror stories and creepypastas that I would suggest every month to my listeners and viewers. All right, and now time to introduce myself in case of that you don't know who I am and you just found this on the interwebs. I am Vex Gaming, aka Austin, and I run a Rumble channel and a YouTube channel. Rumble is where you'll find Scared to Watch as an exclusive since they have no copyright rules. Well, they have some, but where I can watch horror movies, horror shows, analog horrors, etc. without being struck, where the rule format is a bit different to this, where I have 3 lives. If I get scared, I have to, deal with the last 2 lives. Once I lose all 3 lives, I stop recording. The same thing with the game that's available on YouTube and Rumble. So if you want more of the Scare 2 series, those are over there. Now, stop rumbling, Austin. Let's get right to the first creepy story. Oh, creepypasta. So, this is My Closet is Trying to Kill Me, published on October 11th, 2024, written by Henry Hallmark, edited by Craig Gwask. I'm not sure if that's how you say it. And thumbnail art by Craig Carras. Narrated by no one. Me. There's no audio. It takes about 9 minutes to read, it says. So, let's get right into it. Look, I'm not saying my closet is haunted. I'm just saying there's no logical explanation for what's been happening. I started. It started. They have a grammar issue right here. It started. No the. So sorry about that. It started the week we moved in to the new house. Kevin and I found this place during one of those spontaneous we need a bigger place before we go insane moment. And it felt perfect. Nice neighborhood, big yard, enough space to contain our 3 feral sons, Isaiah, Miles, and Cody, who treat drywall like it's their personal canvas, and a master bedroom with the walk in closet of my dreams. When I saw it, I had visions, organized bliss, clothes arranged by seasons, color coded. Kevin, old high school jerseys hang neatly, my dresses beneath on a hanger instead of scaffolding in bins. This was going to be my thing, a clean, organized closet. a sanctuary of adulting. Kevin, of course, couldn't care less about hangers. Hangers are just a way to procrastinate folding, he muttered the first time I tried organizing his stuff, and he don't even get me started on the kids. I could hang their clothes like a superhero, and they'd still dump everything into a clean ish pile on their bedroom floors within 24 hours. Why do we have hangers at all, Mom? Isaiah asked once. Folding is easier. Because this family needs structure, I said. But nobody in this house understood structure. So fine. The closet was going to be mine alone. The one corner of the universe I could control. Or so I thought. This bitch just sounds like she's highly interested in her closet. It ain't trying to kill her, it's trying to bring her bliss. She's crazy. I started a. That's another error in the writing. The editor, Cody, you fucked up. It started small. The first day we moved in, I hung up all my clothes, so proud of myself, and went to bed feeling accomplished. Only when I walked into the closet the next morning, the shelves had collapsed. Just bam. Every single rod pulled clean out of the drywall. Dresses, sweaters, shoes, all of it crumbled in an angry heap on the floor. Babe, Kevin said, poking his head around the doorframe as I cursed under my breath. You have too much stuff. You you know these prefab racks can't handle all that. They're supposed to, I grumbled. So we spent an entire Saturday patching the drywall, buying new racks, and reinstalling everything. I didn't let it deter me. They spelled deter wrong. It's defer. Deterfer. That's not how you spell defer or deter, but I'm assuming it's deter. See, I said as I hanged the final bracket in place, good as new. I should have said that. The closest, the closet heard me. I swear it heard. The next collapse happened a week later. This time, it wasn't a slow fluke. What? Wasn't a slow fluke. I don't know. It's what I get for reading about one about a closet killing me. It was an explosion. Calvin was sitting on the bed scrolling his phone when the crash came from the closet like the whole room had tried to eat itself. We rushed over and found shelves dangling from their brackets, my clothes in another tragic heap on the ground. This time, the rod had actually punctured a hole through the drywall. I stood there, numb, trying to comprehend how physics had betrayed me. Maybe if you keep like 10% of your wardrobe, Kevin suggested helpfully. I shot him a look that could melt tungsten. This is sabotage, I whispered. Calvin chuckled. Sabotage? By drywall? No, I muttered darkly. By the closet. Kevin didn't get it. He thought I was being dramatic. I would think so too. He didn't see the gleam of Malvationist hiding. What the hell is Malvationist? Hiding behind the louvered doors. But I knew something was off about that closet. I just didn't know what. It hated them. And by associating, it hated me. Dot dot dot. That means time has passed. We kept patching holes and installing new shelves. It became a routine, like the world's least exciting home improvement show. And every time it happened, Kevin became more exasperated. Natalia, he said, one afternoon while spacking. What the hell is spackling? Spackling yet another drywall container. You're obsessed. Just fold your clothes like a normal person. I would. I'd give up. It was just. It's not about the clothes, I said. Glitter teeth. It's the principle. The closet is supposed to work, damn it. Kevin threw his hands up. You're giving this closet way too much power. He had no idea. Things got worse. I started with little incidents, small, sneaky things designed to undermine my sanity. A hanger would snap in my hand for no reason. The door would jam, refusing to open until I nearly late for work. At one point, I found my favorite pair of boots inside a laundry basket I was sure I hadn't touched. Then it got violent. Oh, it got violent. How'd the closet fight back? The first real attack happened on a rainy Thursday night. I was home alone with the kids. Kevin was working late. When I decided to reorganize the closet again, I had just finished hanging up my winter coats when the entire rod catapulted off the wall and slammed into my shoulder. It hurt like hell. I staggered backwards, clutching my arm, while the boys stared at me from the hallway. Mom's wrestling with the closet again, Miles whispered. Do you need help? Isaiah asked, not moving a muscle. No, I hissed. I've got it. But as I picked up the rod, I could feel that the closet wanted me dead. The next attempt was worse. A week later, I was crouching inside trying to screw a loose bracket back into the wall when the door slammed shut on its own, and it hit me square in the temple. The impact knocked me off balance, and for a second, I thought I might pass out. When I told Kevin about it later, he gave me that look, that one that says you're overreacting, but I'm too scared to say it. It was probably the wind, he said. There's no wind in a closet, Kevin. I could tell he didn't believe me, but I knew the closet was trying to kill me, and no amount of revitalization. What the Ribtlisation? Revitalization? Rationalization, I think is what they're trying to spell, could convince me otherwise. The breaking point came on Sunday morning. Kevin had taken the boys out, leaving me with a few blessed hours of peace. Naturally, I decided to tackle the closet again because clearly I have a death wish. I had just finished hanging everything up perfectly, racks secured, hangers aligned, clothing separated by season, when I heard it, a crack sound. The sound of wood making right before it decides to betray you. It turned just in time to see the entire upper shelf give way. It happened in slow motion, like a scene from a disaster movie. The rod ripped out of the wall with a sickening crouch, and a cascade of sweaters and dresses came crashing down. I tried to dodge it, but the avalanche of fabric engulfed me, knocking me flat on my feet. For a second, I lay there, gasping for breath under 50 pounds of aggressively folded sweaters. Really, I muttered, staring at the ceiling. This is how I die. Kevin found me like an hour later. He stood in the doorway, arms crossed, clearly trying to not laugh. What happened, Natalia? He asked, pulling me out from beneath the rubble. The closet and I had a mild argument, I replied sarcastically, savoring the first full breath I managed what felt like forever in. The closet won, he said, shaking his head. Don't I warn you, as I wriggled free from the fabric tomb. Dot 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 dot. Time has moved forward. After that, I refused to go near the closet. I started leaving my clothes in baskets and folding them just to avoid another incident, but the closet wasn't satisfied. It wanted blood. The last straw came a few days later. I was brushing my teeth, minding my own business when I heard a loud snap from the bedroom. I walked in time to see the closet flinging itself open, and a rogue hanger shoots out like a spear, nearly missing my ca- what the fuck is that word? Carotid artery. I stood there, toothbrush in hand, shocked but not surprised. That's it, I whisper. I You want a fight? You got one. Kevin thought I was crazy when I told him we needed to call an exorcist. That is kind of crazy. Like, if this was happening to me and I was the boyfriend, I'd be like, what are you going on about? It's a closet, Natalia, he said. Just take the doors off and be done with it. But I know the truth. The closet isn't just bad carpentry, it's evil and it's personal. For now, I surrendered. My clothes are folded, the closet remains empty, waiting, but one day I'll hang something up again. And when I do, I'll be ready. Because the next time this closet tries to kill me, it's coming with me. That's the story. That's the story. There's a pay to read the second part to it. I'm not gonna pay to read the second part to it. Um, that's interesting. That's a really weird. Like, what do you do if your closet tries to kill you? Huh? Just don't use it. Don't use it. Like, why are you trying to use the closet still? It's trying to kill you. I don't know. I don't know. These people are pretty messed up. I don't know. It is. We're going to go on to our next story in a second. Um, we're going to go to. We're going to read a shorter one. We're going to read Gerald's Weight. I had it loaded up. I wasn't sure if we're going to read it, but we're going to read it. So this one is highly rated as well, like the last one. It says it takes 2 minutes to read. So this is Gerald's Rate, published June 17th, 2001. Written by Renee Rehan. Edited by Craig Gorosky. Thumbnail art by Craig Gorosky. Narrated by me. Gerald was sitting in the same chair at the same window, staring outside, waiting. The first snow was falling, and he remembered the time when he played out there with the neighborhood kids all those years ago. He remembered it so vividly that afternoon. The sun had been bright, just like today, but its light didn't reach him, not anymore. Not up here, in this ghastly room. He didn't even notice the single tear that streamed from one of his eyes. Thick yellow and almost syrupy, it carved a path down his shrunken cheek. The shaking came over him like an avalanche, burrowing his thoughts. The pain that follows was worse, cutting through him, hot and ragged. It lasted for almost a quarter of an hour, the third time since noon, the seventh since he woke up this morning. It's gotten so much worse this past year. You there? He called out as he watched the few lonely snowflakes twirling through the air. Of course, a rattling voice reached him. So it's finally time. The voice behind him turned into a gutturally giggling. No, Gerald, you aren't ready yet. Oh, God damn it. I've been ready for the past 3 years. I'm ready now. So why don't you just take me already? We are, we, they ready? We they ready. They don't know how to spell in this. I think it's supposed to be were they ready? Were they ready, Gerald? He was about to reply, but a tremble, wet cough rattled through his body, shaking every brittle bone in it. Damn you, he screamed, but he got no reaction to his outburst. He tried to dig his fingers into the armrest, tried to will itself to give up. But however much he tried, there was nothing. He had no energy left, no muscles to serve him, and so he stayed where he was, in his terrible, lonely prison. Slowly, anger rose inside of him, burning anger, fiery, hotter than the pain he had felt mere moments ago. Why don't you just take me already? He screamed at the quiet room. You know why, Gerald. A bodiless, grim voice whispered into his ears. Yes, I know, but I couldn't help it. I tried, but couldn't wait anymore. I just couldn't. You murdered them, Gerald. 3 little boys whose life you cut short that afternoon. The voice continued. I know, goddammit. I know. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. So take me already. Just please, please, let me move on. No, Gerald. You'll wait, and you'll continue to wait, for I'm going to let you live in their stead. What time you took from them, I've added to yours. The voice trailed off, a hint of devilish glee hidden behind its words. I shouldn't even be alive anymore. The heart attack, the cancer, this rotten body here, theirs. But he broke up, for Gerald knew he was gone again. Once more, the Reaper had abandoned him, and once more he left his soul to linger in his own rotten body for yet another year. That was a good one. I liked that one. That was Gerald's weight. Imagine being like in a rotting body, it's like you know it's rotting and you're dead, but you're still stuck in your body. That would be so fucked up. I don't even know how I would deal with that. I don't know how I would even like cope. Like, how would you cope with that? Like, you just can't. Like, that's why I like these stories. They're able to portray certain feelings and certain terror that you can only get in a reading form. And listening to someone who trying to read it, I never claim to be the best kind of reader. I'm trying to. They have spelling mistakes in them, so I do apologize. But I'm trying to get that voice in there for you two guys. I really am. I'm very excited for another story. We have an option out of two that may take us over time. I'm not sure. We have the staring doll and that feeling. I think we're going to do with the staring doll. The Staring Doll, published on November 25th, 2012. Written by Jack Stryker. Edited by Craig Gorowski. Thumbnail art by Craig Gorowski. Narrated by Luke Fisher. They have a listening version of this one. But unfortunately, I'm going to be reading it for you today. Alright, this was a short one. Heather was at her friend Jenny's house one afternoon. It was just after school, and Jenny's parents hadn't arrived home from work yet. It was just the two of them, and they were engrossed in a board game. Heather was having a good time, except they were playing in a room adjacent to Jenny's parents' bedroom. And every now and then Heather would glance up through the open door of the bedroom to see a little girl doll sitting on the bed. Its eyes appeared to be staring at them. She tried to ignore it, but over time, staring, it started to get to her. I'm sorry, she said, but I can't concentrate. That doll on the bed over there is giving me the creeps. Oh, no problem, Jenny replied. She went to the room and closed the door to calm Heather down. Then the two friends resumed their game. It hadn't been long, however, before Heather glanced up again. The door was once open again, and again the doll appeared to be staring at them. Jenny couldn't understand it. She could swear that there was nobody else home, and that there was no way the door could have opened without the knob being turned. Struggling, she went up she went up to the bedroom and closed the door, this time making sure that it clicked shut. But again and again they would check the door and find it wide open. Heather was starting to get very scared. Finally, Jenny had enough of this too. She went to the bedroom, grabbed the doll, and threw it into the closet, and slamming it shut. She then slammed the bedroom door shut behind her, and they resumed their game. For a while things appeared to be going well, but then Heather glanced up one last time. All of a sudden, she stood up and said goodbye and ran home as fast as she could. This time, when Jenny looked up, she saw the bedroom door only slightly ajar, with a chair propped up behind it, and sitting on the chair, peeking through the opening at them, was the doll. I got a little fucking. I got goosebumps from that one. That was so short and so simple, but it was effective. And that's why I'm reading some of these to you guys. Even these jokingly ones that are in the joke category on this website are actually pretty damn well good. It's just an idea that you would think would be silly, but you could write it to be good. That's the power of reading and writing. The power of emotions are all conveyed between how you say it and how you write it. That's why I wanted to do this kind of podcast. I also would like to have a reason to talk and shit talk horror stuff because I love it. I love it to death. I do plan on having a guest. There's a few people that I am going to reach out to, and I'm welcoming other people to come on here and talk about ghost stories and other things. It's something that I'm extremely excited about. When will this come out? Well, I decided I'm no longer going to be doing YouTube Shorts, so it's probably going to take my Sunday slot. Um, Realistically, it gets get recorded when it gets recorded, but next episode's theme is going to be horror in action games because there's a big one coming out that has a horror theming to it, and another big one that has been out for a while, and it's going to be Path of Exiles. Yes, you wouldn't conventionally think it's a horror game, but it is. We'll have all the facts and information on horror and action games. So, I want to thank you guys so much for listening. I hope you all enjoy your night. And don't forget to check under the bed and sleep with one eye open.